Hello, my name is Sarah Christine. Je suis votre animatrice pour cette série de vidéos sur les politiques publiques d'Action Canada. Action Canada is a program for emerging leaders who care about public policy. These emerging leaders are from all over the country, from all different backgrounds, and they work in all different kinds of jobs. In this video, Action Canada Fellows are going to explain why public policy matters to them. But first, here are a few reasons why public policy might matter to you. Public policy matters because it determines the laws and regulations that shape how we live together. Public policy is also important because it determines which services we as citizens enjoy and which services the government doesn't offer. Public policy affects all of us, whether we are aware of it or not, or whether we agree with it or not. Écoutons maintenant les fellows d'Action Canada qui vont expliquer pourquoi ils s'intéressent aux politiques publiques.
When I was 17, I thought public policy was the most boring thing you could ever tell me to do. And I remember my dad, driving me to go vote for the first time and really imprinting upon me the importance of voting. I didn't understand why it was so important, and it certainly didn't seem relevant to my life. And I think I realized when I went out into my community and saw people struggling to access the food that they need, when I was seeing research reports about people living, down in less safe places that have much shorter lifespans, people struggling, I think you take on a greater appreciation of what public policy can do and the lives that it can change. And it's not just one life, it's millions of lives. There are lots of professions where you sit one-on-one and you help that person one-on-one. Public policy can touch millions of people's lives. And it's so important that we have good people and young people involved in that to make sure the right policies are getting made.
Pourquoi les politiques publiques sont importantes? Parce que ça mène un peu comme nos expériences quotidiennes, les expériences qu'on a comme dans nos villes, dans nos vies, c'est géré par les politiques publiques, que ce soit comme le transport collectif, que ce soit comme les capacités pour nos études, ce qu'on peut faire comme à l'université ou d'ailleurs. C'est vraiment les politiques qui gèrent tout ça.
If you're interested in ensuring the playgrounds in your community are well kept and that there's resources available to make sure that they're clean and that they're safe for the children, then policy is there to ensure there's a way to get that funding, that there's a way for the community to access a pool of money to make sure that they're safe and fun and clean and accessible for everyone in that community.
It has the power to change communities, and it has given me the opportunity to travel across the country and meet with different people, but also to see the challenges facing Canadians, but facing Indigenous people across the country, it's unacceptable. The conditions, the service delivery, there are so many issues, but also a lot of areas for opportunity. There's a lot of incredible projects being done by youth across the country, Indigenous youth-led projects related to climate change or health adaptation or public dialogue, using social media to stir conversations and be able to influence larger audiences is a unique, I think that policy does. You can speak to a lot of people in a big way.
I grew up in a housing community in Toronto, Lawrence Heights specifically, and we've been part of a revitalization effort for 20 years. And part of this revitalization effort is completely transforming the nature of the neighborhood. And I feel as though through the years, I've seen us not always be involved in that process. It'd be a very city-run public planning, city planner process. And I immediately was keen on, okay, how do I get my voice out and how do I get my neighborhood's voice out, not only regarding this project, but on the city as a whole. And when I unveiled a couple of layers and got a little involved, I saw how impactful policymaking has been to someone's life like mine and how little voice I felt like I've had in that process. And so that really drove me to not only get involved for policy making for myself, but for people from my background and who had the same experiences as me to be represented at tables and at discussions.